Hey Flowers, it's Rose. I know I'm a day late. Yesterday was not a good place for me emotionally or mentally, so I didn't have a chance to make a video. Um, I know we're supposed to be talking about high school experiences and all that, but I just want to take a moment and go back and talk about some mental health issues. Um, I'm thinking about making another channel that's going to be more just about my mental health and just funny stories and stuff. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, or if I'm going to turn this channel into that instead of the weekly topics. For those of you that are new, I'm Rose. I'm 22. Um, like I just said, I'm kind of up in there about where I want this channel to continue, and it's the same as I've always said. I really just want to put my words out there and help people and let them know that they're not alone. Yeah, yesterday was not a good place for me. Started off well enough. I woke up. I didn't have any classes, so I decided to start cleaning. Well, my dorm has a laundry room, but it costs $1.75 to do one load of laundry, and you have to pay in quarters. Well, they have a machine that gives you quarters in exchange for giving dollar bills, but it's broke. It wasn't working, and I only had enough quarters to do half a load. So I got really pissed, and I ended up having to walk to a store to get change because I don't have a car here with me. And it was raining, which didn't help my mood, and I had been struggling with the depressive episode the past week, so it was just my mind on stacking trouble on top of trouble on top of trouble, and I just couldn't figure out a way out. Called my best friend up on FaceTime, and that brought me a little relief, laughing and joking with her. It was fun. Bought myself some gummies. Love my gummies. Sorry, my neck was stiff. But then her husband came home, so she wanted to go spend time with him, which, I don't grudge her for. But that was when the metaphorical shit hit the fan. I've mentioned before that my parents and I don't really see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. I love them. I love my parents. I wouldn't trade them for anyone in the world. They're a big part of my life. I love them so much, but sometimes we just end up exploding at each other and yelling and screaming and fighting and saying words that we don't mean. At least I hope they don't mean it. But it's not all fights all the time. They called me last night around 6 o'clock. They called me. They were on their way to go camping with some friends of theirs, and they just called me up to see what I was doing. Conversation quickly took a turn to the worse, at least on my end. My parents don't think they're doing anything wrong, and that's the worst part, because if I point it out, they get defensive and they don't want to hear me. But when they jokingly make fun of me, my accomplishments, my hopes, my dreams, and where I'm at, and my lack of a job and stuff, it really hurts me, and it makes my anxiety and depression rear their ugly heads and be like, you're worthless. Even your parents think so. Even though you're the middle child, you're so far behind your sisters that it's laughable. And anytime I tried to change the subject, they noticed, and they kept dragging it back and back to subjects I didn't want to talk about. And when I left to go to college, my relationship with my parents was not good. It was on the verge of breaking. It was on the verge of me leaving and not having them in my life, which would have devastated me, because family is a huge part of my life and I love my parents, but at that point it was so bad, and I know part of the blame lays on me and my actions, but it was so bad that I was actively looking to move out and trying to get away from my parents. And going to this college was a breath of fresh air, living in a dorm, being free to make my own choices, not having to fight and talk to them every day, letting me live my own life was a I'm getting worked up and I'm sorry. Um, it was a breath of fresh air, and the first year really mended my relationship with my parents because they realized what it was like not having me at home 24/7. You know, my mother would call me and then talk, and she'd miss me. They'd send me gifts, and they'd post on social media about their daughter and how proud they were of her, and it mended our relationship. But now the second year, the closer we get to me graduating and going home, it feels like we're heading back to that dark place that we were in before I left. And Maria agrees with me. She knows how much family means to me and how much my parents mean to me, and she's scared of me leaving that family and being shunned and not having them in my life, and she knows how bad that will be for me. So it's sorry, asthma sucks when you get worked up. But I feel like our relationship is getting strained again. The amount of fights we've had whenever I come home for breaks this past year, them saying they'll disown me and kick me out, and that didn't happen before I left for college, and the fact that it's happening now scares the living daylights out of me. Yeah, so it wasn't fun talking to them last night. So I messaged my friend and I was like, my parents, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. She FaceTimed me about an hour later, worried, wondering what was happening. And we're both sympathy criers. Like, if she starts crying, I'll start crying, and if I start crying, she'll start crying. So obviously I'm crying because I'm so stressed out and I'm anxious, and the depressive episode is just the backlash and leftover, mind fuckery that happens with it. Was messing with me. So I'm sobbing and she starts sobbing. And I hate putting this on her because she starts saying how scared she is about one day not hearing from me and finding out the worst because it's happened before. And I'm just like, you shouldn't have to worry about that. I shouldn't have to put this on you. I know I need professional help and I know I'm going to get it. But at this point, it just scares the living daylights out of me that she has to worry about me not being here because of my depression and my relationship with my family. My chest hurts. But so we were sobbing, but we started talking about happier things, getting our minds off of it. What's funny is her husband heard her crying from the other room, and he like immediately got concerned. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I made your wife cry. But so I know this week was supposed to be high school stories, and it started off on a upbeat tone, but I just I started this channel as a vent fic for myself, and that's what today is, pretty much just me venting. And I understand if you guys don't want to hear this, um, but I think mental health is something that we should be paying attention to because the fact that my friend, my closest friend, is scared shitless that one day I won't be here when my parents know about my depression and they don't even care. They brush it under the rug and act like it's not there. It shows how much we need to care because, yeah. My chest hurts, and it's because I'm getting worked up. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that for today. You guys can probably hear my radio in the background, and I'm sorry. But yeah, for today's video, I'm just going to talk about anything and everything because I don't really feel like talking about high school right now, and I'm still kind of reeling from last night's conversations. I mean, kind of sucks when your parents know about you but choose not to acknowledge it, and like I said before, my friend even mentioned this. She's like, you were forced to out yourself to your parents in the middle of a fight, so no wonder you have a strained relationship with them. And I'm like, that's not even the start of it. Like, I've had a strained relationship with my parents for a while now, and it's only gotten worse as I've gotten older because I feel like they're trying to keep me either as their young child or as a grown adult, and I'm not either right now. Like, even though I'm 22 and I feel like I should be this responsible adult, I don't know how to, and I know that. And I know that a lot of the fights I have with my parents are about my money spending issues, and I know I have a problem with that. But they're not trying to help me. They're just yelling at me about how bad I am at it. And I'm like, I want to get help, but I don't know how to. I don't know where to start to get help with my money spending problems. So it just sucks. But yeah, so they wonder why they don't know about my life. They wonder why I don't share things with them. When I told them that I was depressed, in the middle of another fight, they said they were scared of that being the case. They were scared of me being up in my room all alone, not talking to anyone because of what that could mean. They were scared, come to us if you ever have doubts, come and talk to us. But the minute I start talking about that, they close off and tell me to, it's because I don't interact with people. It's because I spend all my time alone in my room. And I'm like, I don't interact with people because I have major social anxiety. When I'm surrounded by people that I don't know, I start closing off, getting anxious. Whenever people like brush against me, I'm like flinching. And the longer that goes on, the more irritable I get and the more I lash out. And then people get mad at me because I'm lashing out. But it's because I have like an energy level. And the longer I spend in a group of people that I don't know, or the longer I spend out in public, the lower that energy gets until I'm so socially depleted of social energy that I just want to curl up in my room and forget that outside exists. And my parents don't understand that because they don't understand the concept of social anxiety or depression. They're older mindset. And even though my mom is all like, I understand what you're going through, I have anxiety too. It's like, if you understand, then why are you forcing me to do things that cause my anxiety to level up instead of helping me with it? I broached the idea of counseling and they shoot it down saying that all counselors are frauds. When I know that's not the case. I have several friends that have gone to see therapists. I've seen a therapist myself on the side, and it's helped me. I know that they're not fakes. My dad says he understands depression and suicidal tendencies. Okay, then why aren't you helping me get help for that instead of telling me to go outside or talk to you? Like, it's hard. It's not something that I can just brush aside. It's mental health issues. It's in my head. I have wires that aren't being connected properly, and it's causing my whole body and my brain to just overshot itself and fry. And that can't just be fixed by, you know, pushing my boundaries. Which, yeah, I know I need to push my boundaries. I know I need to talk to more people. I know I need to get out more. But not as a way to fix me, not as a cure. Like, I feel bad enough as it is knowing that I've never had a real relationship other than that one boy for a week in high school. Meanwhile, my older sister's getting married and my younger sister has too many boyfriends to count, you know? And the fact that my parents say I live in a fantasy land and that I'm hoping for some romantic night to sweep me off my feet with roses is absurd. I know that life is no fairy tale. I don't live in a fantasy land. I know about all the hardships. I'm not hoping for someone to sweep me off my feet. Am I hoping for, a romantic story to tell my grandkids one day? Yeah, everyone does. But it's not like I'm expecting, Prince Charming. And the fact that they rub that in my face, along with the fact that I'm the last of my sisters to go to college, hurts. My friend agrees with me when, as soon as I get home for this summer, I'm going to try to look for a place to move out. Otherwise, my relationship with my parents might never get better. You know? It just sucks that they don't see how much I'm hurting. And if I try to tell them how much I'm hurting, they don't listen to me. And they just push me aside or guilt trip me or make me feel worse about myself. And I have to act like they helped because they don't want me to keep on bringing my problems to them, even if they say they do. They don't want to have a daughter who's messed up. Growing up, I was always compared to my older sister. Constantly by my mother, compared to my older sister. She was the ideal daughter that everyone should aspire to be, even though her social cues can be a little off. And the way my older sister acted pissed me off because she was a hypocrite and she tried to mother me, but not in like a mother style, more like when my mom would tell me something and my older sister would repeat it as if that would make me do it faster. Now I have a healthy relationship with my older sister, now that she's moved out and she's kind of grown into her own. And we've talked, and all me and my sisters have talked, and we all agree that the way we acted when we were raised was kind of reminiscent of how our parents treated us and pitched us against each other, even unknowingly. What's funny is all me and my sisters, my older, my younger me, we all have issues and we've all hide them from our parents. My issues have been brought to the forefront because of all the fights and stuff, so my parents focus on me. And I wish I could tell them about the issues that my older sister and younger sister are going through, but that's not my place to say. And I know how bad I felt, outing myself unwillingly, that I don't want to out my sisters like that. But my older sister moved out when she was 18, right out of high school. And even though she struggled and she went into debt, she never once reached out to our parents. And my mother always was like, why doesn't she reach out? And I'm just sitting silently thinking, I know why. And she never moved back home, you know. And look at her now, she's thriving. She has a house of her own. She's engaged to be married. She has a stable job, doing what she loves. And she has a better relationship with our parents. My younger sister just went off to college, and even though she struggled the first couple months, she's gotten better. And even she says that she's gotten, a better relationship with our parents, not being under the same roof all the time. And that's kind of sad that we all feel better having been away from our parents. But we all agree that we still love them. They're still our parents. We love them. And the fact that our parents, whenever they hear that, we feel better away from them, they get upset and angry and ask, did we ever really love them? All this different stuff hurts. I know you can't compare other people's traumas to your own and stuff, but it hurts because my parents throw that at me where it's like other people have it worse, and that makes me feel worse. But I try not to compare my trauma to others. I know that my trauma is my own, and even though I question myself all the time whether I even really have trauma, I used to bang my head against the wall and think, am I just making this all up in my head? Am I really depressed? Am I really anxious? Am I really suicidal? How do I know that these are really my thoughts and not, media's and all this different stuff? How do I know that I'm not just doing this to get attention? I used to wonder days on end, what if I'm making this all up? And it didn't help that my parents didn't see anything, and I didn't know that I was looking for validation that my thoughts were my own until I got it from coworkers who were like, yeah, we see something wrong with you. Yeah, you're valid to feel that way. Mental health is so glossed over in education, even that it's no wonder that, news reporters are always like, there's been a spike in depressive teenagers. It's like, no, there hasn't been a spike. It's just more kids are coming to terms with their mental health issues and vocalizing it. So, like my little chocolate bunny back there, late Easter. It just sucks, that at the one hand, I want to go home and see my parents and spend time with them again. But at the other hand, I'm dreading it because I know what their expectations are and I know I haven't met them yet. I'm supposed to have a job when I get home and I have no job lined up and they keep bringing it up. But I have so many different plans over the summer, plans that my parents have that I have to be a part of, that I'm wondering how I'm even how am I supposed to have a job and keep it when I'm going to have all these days off at random times that I'm barely going to be at work? I'm barely going to get any money. Kind of sucks. Speaking of, in September, I am going to do a vlog type style of Italy where I'm going to be for a week. But save that surprise for that time. Yeah. Another thing that sucks about depression and stuff is that you don't really have any motivation. I have so many finals that I should be working on that I've just kind of don't have the drive to do it. Normally I'd be all over trying to finish it, but it's like I know that the sooner I finish it, the sooner graduation comes, the sooner I have to go home, and that just makes, so it kind of sucks, but can't run from it. Future's coming, whether I like it or not. I'm going to graduate, hopefully, if I pass these classes. And then I'm going to go home, and I'm going to have to deal with my parents, one way or another. I have noticed that my depressive episodes have been coming more and more often and lasting longer, and that scares me. I've been looking into service animals, and I'm actually thinking about getting a service animal for my mental health. And I know a lot of people look down and say that's not a real service animal, but I've read so many reports of them helping their caregivers and stuff that I think it might be beneficial for me. I'm not going to make a choice right now. Obviously, I can't afford it, and I'm going to be all over the place this summer, but I'll definitely bring it up once I have a steady therapist, which is probably going to be one of the first things I do when I get back home, is try to find one. But it just kind of sucks. Sucks that the only people I can really talk to about this is my friend Marie, my friends on, which don't judge me again, Tumblr, and on here. I don't have a lot of friends, and the ones I do, I don't really feel comfortable talking about this because I'm not that close to them. But it's a part of my life. Definitely something that I'm gonna, you hear people say I'm never gonna be like my parents. I want to be sort of like my parents with my kids, but at the same time, I'm gonna definitely be more understanding and tell them more and teach them at a young age. Don't be ashamed. Come to me if you're feeling anything. I'm definitely going to talk to them about gender identity and expression, because that's something that was definitely glossed over in my childhood. But for now, the best I can do is find the happy moments in life. Find the few times my friends message me asking me how I'm doing, the random Snapchats of weird, funny faces, the strange urge to draw I get every once in a while. My life's not bad. It's not. And I'm definitely looking to make it better. Definitely going to be an uphill battle, but one of these days I'm going to look back and I'm going to look at these hardships that I've been through, and I'm going to say, yeah, those helped mold me into who I am today. That day's not coming anytime soon, but gotta look towards the future. So I know this was a downer video, kind of just me venting, but yeah, I'm gonna change up the schedule posting and all that stuff. Let me know if you want me to change the style of the videos I'm doing. I might just start doing a vlog style. But anyways, if you're new, you want to get more videos of me being angsty, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we'll have happier videos in the future. I really want to try to do a vlog style. I think I might start doing that, vlog style of my life in college. But anyways, love you guys. Keep blooming. Life's going to get better.